Dive into the dynamic flavors and effortless cooking style of Chef Michelle Daniels with her highly anticipated cookbook, a companion to her hit TV series On the Fly with Chef D. Packed with quick, delicious recipes and her signature tips, this book is your ticket to creating bold, restaurant-quality dishes at home. No stress, no fuss. Let Chef D inspire your kitchen adventures with her vibrant recipes and culinary expertise.
Welcome back to On the Fly with Chef D. I am your host today, and we're going to talk about the big game. No matter what that game is to you, whether it's football, American football, college football, volleyball, hockey, foosball, we're going to talk about the big game today. And nothing says big game like a hearty bowl of chili. Today we're going to do a beef and chuck chili. We're going to add 2 types of beans, a little quinoa, and just for some flair, I'm going to throw in some sweet potato and a lot of other good goodies. Stick around and let's get busy. First off, I've got my Dutch oven here. I'm heating it up, and we're going to add to it some fresh onion, bell pepper, and we're going to add those sweet potatoes in. I'm going to get some aromatics going. And we are ready. A little olive oil. Oh, it's already sizzling. It's happy. Happy pot. Sizzling pot is a happy pot. Add that into the Dutch oven. Pop the fingers there. All right. Get those aromatics going. Let's see what we got in here. A little more onion. Add that in. And add in the sweet potatoes. So I'm going to start to soften those up. Stir it in. A little Himalayan salt. A little pepper. And let it do its thing. I'm going to give it a cover because I want to get a little steam going to help those sweet potatoes out. Next, we're going to take some chuck here. I've marinated with a little bit of balsamic vinegar to kind of help to break those fibers down. And I'm going to take a little bit of flour. I'm going to dredge in a little flour because this is going to help with our gravy. In the flour, we put a little salt and pepper in there, a little garlic pepper, and a little garlic salt. I'm going to dredge those up real nice. And it's going to also to help thicken our chili as it moves along. Balsamic vinegar also adds a little bit of sweet. It's going to balance off our spices. Unless you like it hot, you're good to go. Alrighty. We're going to add that chuck in there. Nestle it in. And let that brown. Perfect. Just get rid of these. Yeah, let's add that in there too. Add the rest of that in there. I'm going to add the rest of the olive oil in. And we're going to let that brown for a moment. Top it off. And we're going to let that brown and simmer in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. So while that's going on, go ahead and grab your favorite drink and come on back. We'll see you soon. Welcome back. We're getting ready to finish this big game chili. So in our Dutch oven, we put in bell pepper, onion, garlic powder, some choice spices, the sweet potato, and our chopped beef. So right now I'm going to take that top off. We're going to toss it around a little bit, and then we're going to add in our ground beef. Everything's coming around just perfectly. Now if you don't want to use beef, you can always use turkey. I've seen people make chili with ground chicken. Today for the big game, I prefer the beef. So this is going to be real nice and hearty. So we're going to brown that, give it a couple minutes and let it brown. So I'm going to turn it up a little. Close our Dutch oven back down so we can brown the beef. Sweet potatoes are softening up perfectly. We're going to be rolling here in no time. While you're working on this, you can always have your game on. Have a cold one, cold soda, whatever your cold one looks like. This is looking good. We're going to top that off. So the next ingredients that are going to go in, I'm going to add some spices in here. I have some ground cumin, a little bit of red chili pepper. I like a little herbs de Provence in there. Some basil leaves, and I also have some of my yummy spice, so we're going to put some of that in there. All right, of course, a little Himalayan salt. You can be a little generous on that. I'm going to add a little more in there. And our black pepper. Stir it all up and get that beef to brown in there. I used a 90 lean ground beef. So we're definitely going to make sure that the oil from the olive oil is going to give us a little more fat in there. And this is coming up nicely. It's making a nice base. The best thing for chili is you always want to have a good foundation, a good base. And the juices from the meat, all the seasonings is going to definitely put some depth in there and have a good base for our chili. Our beef's almost there. For our beans today, I've chose pinto beans, black beans. We're also going to add in some whole kernel corn, and for a little more protein, if you didn't have enough, a little quinoa. I also call this my harvest chili because it is definitely going to keep you warm. It has some fall root vegetables in there with your sweet potato. Can't beat it. I'm going to deglaze the pan now with a little bit of organic beef broth. So if anything's sticking to the bottom of our pan, we're going to get that fond off the bottom of there by adding the beef broth. Once we add that in, we're going to bring this up to a boil. And we're looking at about 2 to 3 cups here, maybe a little more. About 4 cups. There we are. We're going to bring this to a boil. Add in our beans. Pinto beans there. Black beans. Whole kernel corn. Once it comes up to the boil, I'm going to add in the quinoa. I'm going to give that just a moment. And you might be saying, where's the chili powder? You can't have it without the chili powder. It's coming. It's coming. All right. So give us a couple moments. We're going to get this come up to a boil, and we'll be back to finish the big game chili. See you soon. Welcome back. We're here with On the Fly. I'm your host, Chef Michelle, and we are going to finish this big game chili. So we've got most of the ingredients in. We put our chuck in, our ground beef, sweet potatoes, bell pepper, red onion, and choice seasonings. Brought it up to a boil here, and now we're going to add a little bit of tomato sauce. I kind of forgot that in the beginning, but hey, never too late to add. So we're going to add that in. We're going to add in our quinoa. And make sure you rinse your quinoa first, just to make sure there's no particles, dust, or anything left on it. I always just put it in a sieve or small colander, rinse it through with some cold water. Added that in. That tomato sauce is giving us some rich color there. We're going to add in our chili powder. This is a mild chili powder. About 2 tablespoons plus of that. Give it a nice stir. Going to bring it back up to a boil. For a little spice, I'm going to add in a little dash of Tabasco or hot sauce of your choice. I'm going to keep going because I like spicy. All right. And I have about a tablespoon of browning, and we're only going to do about a half of that. Browning helps with flavor. It also helps with color. So it's going to give us a little more rich color for that chili. Now that I've combined all of that, bring it to a boil. Let the quinoa cook. That's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. Gonna let that rest. I'm gonna go and grab a cold one, that is a cold soda, and I'll be right back and we'll finish that chili off, boil it up, and eat it. See you soon. Welcome back. We're finishing up this big game chili. We're gonna plate it up. So our ingredients today, we used lean ground beef, beef chuck, sweet potatoes, onion, garlic, red pepper, some chili powder. We use a little bit of browning for seasoning, some tomato sauce or paste, whichever you have, our choice seasonings, and look at where we're at now. We're looking amazing. Smells even better. We've also added some quinoa in there. That gives you a little more protein and helps us with some thickness and depth in our chili here. So we're gonna plate this up. And I have tasted it, and I will tell you that it is amazing. This is going to be a crowd pleaser. If you have those that don't eat meat, you can just do it with the beans. So we used corn, black beans, pinto beans. You can use the quinoa. That makes it really, really good for just someone that does not eat meat. So you have your vegetarian version with that. That looks really, really, really hearty, guys. You can't beat this. So we're gonna go ahead and clean it up. Here we have our big game chili. So again, I'll give those ingredients to you one more time. We have our lean beef chuck, ground beef, potatoes, which is our sweet potato, red pepper, onion, garlic, black beans, whole corn, pinto beans, and of course some quinoa. We've used tomato or tomato paste, as well as a little bit of browning seasoning, choice spices. We did a little bit of oregano, herbs de Provence, chili powder, and here we are, and beef stock to finish it off. So here is our big game chili. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of chopped chives on there for a little color and add a little zest. I hope you try this recipe for your big game, whichever game that's going to be, and don't forget to look for this recipe in my cookbook, On the Fly. I look forward to seeing you soon, real soon, On the Fly with Chef D. Thanks, come again.